$9.99, and you get a free bag of fertilizer with every purchase. Now, too, you get free curbside delivery at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Daily till 4:30 on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. The same blooming place since 1952.
WOCA. Ocala.
And you're listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA, The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, 7 minutes past the top of the 8 o'clock hour. On the phone, hopefully from the R&R this weekend. He's nice and relaxed. We've got Galen on the phone. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, Adam, how are you?
Doing real good, my friend. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was great. You know, went over to the beach, spent a couple of nights over at the beach, and it's almost like a reset. So, you know, you don't sometimes know how badly you need a break until you take that break. And, for the wife and I, it was pretty fantastic. And weather was nice. Weather was really nice. So, went out to dinner a couple of times and able to sit in there and enjoy a meal. And found a new restaurant in Daytona. And it's the best meal I've had that I can remember. Chez Paul.
Ooh.
So if you're ever in Daytona, it's fine dining, but wow, I mean that dude can cook, and it was weird, you know, because they're only at 25% capacity until today, right?
Right.
And so there was one waitress and the chef, and so the chef was kind of walking around taking orders, and it was really really good. I mean, I can't praise it enough. So,
would you get to?
If you're in Daytona, Chez Paul.
Chez Paul. Would you get to the entree? Would you get? Would you order?
They had this green peppercorn tenderloin, and the sauce was. I'd never even heard of green peppercorn, but it was incredible. So you know, it's fine dining. So I think they served us 5 courses, and it was still cheaper than the night before. But it was incredible. I mean, I don't know. It was just a great weekend, and it was a lot of fun. I greatly enjoyed it.
Yeah, so, just those simple things.
Really, really nice.
Just those simple things, right, partner? Just being able to spend some time, go out and get a nice meal and good company, and man, what a difference, right?
Walk on the beach and kind of just reset. And you realize, you know, the world isn't over. You know, didn't turn on the TV or anything like that. You know, didn't do any social media or anything. So it was just, you know, it gave you an opportunity just to reset and remember what's important and, you know, celebrate our 23rd anniversary. It was nice.
23 years, buddy. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, with the beach, was it fairly crowded, or you know, was it pretty sparse?
No. You know, Friday when we got there, you know, it wasn't that crowded, and then Saturday, not really crowded, and then Sunday we just walked on the beach and then headed home. But you could tell, and nobody was wearing a mask or anything. I think it would be kind of stupid to wear a mask on the beach when the wind is blowing at 25 knots. You know, I mean, let's be clear. I mean, your breath isn't going that far.
All right.
But you know, it was great, and you could tell the restaurants were back at normal. It was nice. It was great. And you could tell there's hope, and everybody's got an opinion on the virus, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was very, very good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking with my dad this weekend, just like you mentioned about the beach. I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, I think the way he's kind of explained it when he touched base down there at Pensacola Beach, it was like more people are expecting to stay farther apart from each other. It gets crowded at times. It has in the past where everybody's kind of together, but everybody's kind of notioning, I'll get a little farther apart. And at the end of the day, you wonder with all that sunshine, 90 degrees, like you said, with 25 knot wind, with your feet in the sand, like at what point are you going to contract something like that from the beach being outside? No.
Well, and and we're learning more and more about the virus. I mean, there are still, and I watched the governor's press conference on Friday. It made me very happy. Gyms are going to be open today.
Yep.
Restaurants are at 50%. But he really touched on some of the key things, that this affects people who are older and obese. The two largest indicators of the virus is for dying from the virus are obesity and age.
Yeah.
So they've had one person who's under the age of 25 die from it, and then everybody else has been over 65. Has been something like between 65 and over is like 75%, and then over 80 is even higher. It's like higher than that, but a pretty big proportion. So,
right.
If you're older and you're susceptible to the flu and the influenza and things like that, just be smart. My mom is 80, and I told her, I'm like, yeah, if you don't need to go out, don't go out.
Yeah.
If you want to go out, go out. So.
Now, with this week, like we talked, you just mentioned it. Now, it was the press conference Friday that gyms are allowed to open up again. If that's where we're at with that, where do you see maybe bars coming into the picture?
I thought they opened today. I thought they opened Monday. Bars and spas.
I thought it was bars and gyms,
I thought
but
they were open.
I haven't seen anything else with the bars. That's why I'm asking, because
I thought it was.
I thought it was too, and I haven't seen anything. Most of the things that are reporting it are based on the 50% occupancy of the gyms, but I haven't really seen anything about the bars themselves. And I'm wondering if that's still the idea of taking one of the phases or guidelines and kind of amending it a little bit. But I thought it was, when I heard it last week, that was the full phase that we were going to go into. But I've not seen anything about it. Maybe you have. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure bars are open today.
Mm-hmm. It is a little crazy when I got a bite to eat for lunch here in a local establishment, and actually ran into some friends of mine that were sitting at a table. And what's ironic is I went in there by myself, and I was thinking, well, then I guess at these restaurants you can't sit at the bar area, even if you were to stagger it, sit here, one seat open. And a lot of these places aren't. They're just blocking out the whole bar. And then
really?
Yeah, and
wow.
then you realize that you're sitting at a table with three other people right across from them. And then next to them, and you're like, and you couldn't sit at the bar. It's again just that play on what is common sense and what is logical is weird. And there was three this weekend that I noticed that did that. They didn't even open up the bar at all. They didn't keep them staggered. It was dining room. That's it. So I imagine this week.
In Daytona, where we ate, the bar was open. The bar, you could sit at the bar area.
Yeah.
They just blocked off. Every two chairs or something.
Okay, yeah, every other seater. Yeah.
I think, again, if it was 90 degrees, you're at the beach, you're outside. Most people want to eat outside anyway.
Right.
Whatever. You know what? I think I'm trying not, and I told my wife, I said, I can't get this bothered by it. So, I just gotta, thankfully I can go eat now.
Yes.
I want to go eat, I can go eat. And I think that's great. So I feel fine. I'm good.
Yeah. I did read a little fun article today. I don't know if you heard it. I'll fill you in a little bit. But, hey, it's progress. So as pole dancing and hand sanitizer, Wyoming strip club reopens with masks on, clothes off party. As what was interesting about it is this is actually the first dance strip club where in the country that's opening back up near the Wyoming-Colorado border. As it was just an interesting take as they threw the article up here. It's like, oh, okay. So at least some places somewhere in the country that this is coming back as a part of the business. And what's interesting now is the joke we made with Hugh is like, hey, maybe Wyoming right now is the bachelor weekend opportunity that those guys have been wanting to have.
Yeah, well, all these lawsuits that are coming against these governors are forcing people to be open.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is open. They had to. They deemed the governor's shelter in place is illegal.
Yeah.
And unconstitutional. So they're open. and that's, they don't have a choice. I mean, now businesses may choose to remain closed.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with
they
that.
They are allowed to open.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I respect that.
Respect that.
That's your decision.
Yeah.
That's your decision. And that's what I've always said. If the president came out and said, look, this virus we think is going to be pretty deadly, and at the time, I believe he did.
Yeah.
We really need people to stay at home. And it was an option, I don't think anybody would be having a problem.
Right.
But the second you make Americans do something, now you're at a different level of pain, son. Because the most important thing to all of us, it's rooted in our DNA, is freedom.
Yep.
So, and when we take that away, we don't take it lightly. And so I think there's going to be more rulings today on the unconstitutionality of some of these laws.
Yeah.
I know there's like 5 or 6 in New York that are pending, and I think there's more than that in Massachusetts. Massachusetts, if you don't wear a mask outside, it's a $300 fine.
Oh,
they
wow.
went in and shut down a business over the weekend because one customer didn't have a mask on.
Wow.
So one person didn't have a mask on, and it was interesting. The hotel I stayed at, they were filled on Saturday night. They had no vacancy, and I told the guy, I'm like, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, it must have been that great price you gave everybody on Hotels.com. And he goes, yeah, it couldn't have hurt. Yeah, and that's good. That's good for the economy. Those people have to eat somewhere and drink somewhere, and I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting, I was able to get my hair cut this weekend, which was it was nice. I feel energized and free. It is. Got the hot towel and the back of my neck cleaned up, and even got my eyebrows trimmed because I'm too risky with those. But see, the thing was, like, as I was discussing it with the barber, she said pretty much like they've already had guidelines, like for example with the barbershops that they've always had to follow, and some of the other stuff that was implemented for them, it has made their job so much more difficult with the idea of, now she's worked, she told me, I think an extra 10 hours that week. So she was already up to 10 hours of overtime on Saturday and still had to work Sunday. And with the way their pay period goes, she's going to be well over. And not only that, it was wearing a mask for that entire time. And it's so difficult for them to do that considering how long they're working. But that's the beauty of it, though. The simple things that I was appreciative of. She's thinking, I'm so glad to be back to work. She's like, this week has been insurmountably busy, but she's like, I'm loving it because it's made the days go fast. We're cutting hair. Everybody's in a good mood who comes in because they're appreciative of, like you said, the little thing with the service of it. And it's like, why was this put off for so long? Why was this put off for so long when there's so many guidelines for that?
I think we're going to look back at this for generations probably and go, wow.
Yeah.
And again, it seems to be falling along party lines.
Yeah.
Whether or not you think we're doing enough or too much. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, so did you watched the race? You're not even a NASCAR fan, and you watched the race.
Mama went to the store. I had my boy. I was like, you want to see the cars go fast, buddy? Let's have some sports on, because we were just hanging out. It was nice to have a Sunday afternoon on the couch with some kind of sports on. I said, this is great. Let's do it. And we had it on, partner. And I'm not a big race car fan, but I watched it. And since he was getting into more stuff with cars nowadays, because he's in the Hot Wheels and everything, it was actually great to have that on and watch it with them. I had a blast, man. It was a great weekend.
I enjoyed it. The golf was okay.
It was okay. Yeah.
And the reason I say it's just okay is, that would have been a great opportunity. So let's just let those 4 dudes talk.
Yes.
But golf commentators take themselves so serious. And I think Mike Tirico's a drip. I think he's completely unentertaining. And he said, wow, it's really interesting to watch these guys carry their own bags. Like, no, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
They're still dudes. They put their pants on just like you and me.
And at the end of the day, dude, I heard that too. You nailed it, man. I thought, really, what's the big deal about it? That they would have no problem doing this more often if they had some skins during the week where they would just carry their own bag, wear shorts, and play around the golf. They were literally just playing a Sunday afternoon round with their buddies. That's all they were doing. But they were trying to make it.
And the money got outrageous. And, it's not their own money. Now, I'd rather, and I've said this, I'd rather watch 4 dudes grind out at $2 Nassau.
Yeah. There you go.
That's more realistic.
There you go. Yeah.
When you got 4 guys who make a combined living of, like, let's say $250 grand. And then watch those people grind out when they go double or nothing on the 18. And they're trying to not have to explain to their wife why they spent $55 cash to their buddy Mark. That would be fun.
You nailed it.
That would be great.
You nailed it.
But instead, you got a bunch of millionaires playing for other people's money, going to somebody else.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
No.
I mean, they're just having fun.
Yeah.
And the people, their brand awareness went through the roof.
You're right.
But no, it was fine. I'm not hating on it. It's just all right. I think Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Phil and Tiger will be more interesting.
I think so too.
Just because those 4 dudes are more interesting.
Yeah. And Peyton Manning's pretty interesting.
Let's be very clear. Dustin Johnson is box of rocks.
He is a great golfer, man, but he is
literally.
Yeah.
That's why he's a great golfer. I believe that in order to be a great golfer, you have to have absolutely nothing in your brain. And I think Tiger is an example of that, because when he gets on the golf course, that's all he thinks about.
Yeah.
He doesn't think about anything else going on in the world.
You're right.
And Arnold Palmer did the same thing, and Jack Nicklaus did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that laser focus. Me, when I'm playing golf, I'm thinking about everything else.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm a terrible putter.
My putt on 18 this weekend would come down to me whether or not I could break an 85. I was playing a decent round, but I fell off on a couple holes because it just happened that way. And I was on 18, and it's one of those feelings where it's like, all right, if I make this putt, all my hopes and dreams come true. This will happen this week. This will happen this week. What am I thinking about that for? Just make the putt. Just make the putt.
Right. You outthink it. That's the great thing about golf, and the absolute terrible thing about golf.
Yep.
Is you have nobody else to blame. And if people think that's a cliche, no, it's not. And there's nobody else to rely on.
Right.
There's nobody to. You could still hit it perfect and it still not go in.
Yep. Oh, buddy, I had a few of those yesterday. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you knew this or not, but with the way the golf courses are managing the guidelines for COVID, what they're doing is they're putting it in there like a pool noodle that goes in the cup that sits low, so your ball doesn't completely fall in. I got robbed with a chip that chipped in for birdie. It would have been back-to-back birdies for me, but it's a few of those, and I got robbed on even a few putts with some lip outs, and it was one of those things where it's like, you know what? No excuses. You should have putted the ball better. That's it. There's no one to blame, buddy, but yourself. And that's why I love that game.
It's a stupid game created by sheep herders. They were tired of dealing with the sheep and just started hitting rocks. So I tell people all the time, let's be very clear about the origin of this. It was literally to kill time.
Yeah.
And then one sheep herder met another one, and they're like, how far can you hit this rock?
Yeah.
And there you go. And then it became, well, I can hit it further, but can you be more accurate? That's how this thing evolves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the good old. That's a shout out to Dan. It's Robin Williams. He goes, only a Scotsman would create that sport, right? He's drunk off his butt and goes, watch me hit this rock in this gopher hole. From where?
Right.
From like 3 feet? No, from hundreds of yards away.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome, buddy.
No, it was good. It was a good weekend. We're getting there.
Yeah, we are.
I was glad to see DeSantis during his press conference say he's completely open to all sports.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Baseball is baseball. God, they can't do anything right.
No.
When you've got players saying, "But I'm not willing to take a pay cut."
Yep. I want to get mine. Yeah.
Snell, and granted, he pitches for the Rays, so he's already a little dumber than everybody else. But the sheer audacity when people are literally don't have a job.
Right.
When they have no idea where their next paycheck's coming.
Right.
And this guy is like, I'm not going to take a pay cut. Why? And then he says, why should I take a pay cut? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, because there won't be any fans in the stands.
Right.
Well, what about the guy who sells peanuts and that's his whole job?
That's just, yeah. And
that makes up 65% of his income for the year.
Right, when he was expecting.
What about that guy? Yeah, he's got no job.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, the sheer, they're just not connected.
I know.
And he says, I'd rather not play than do that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Good for you.
For you. You would rather not play a game. At the end of the day, man, it's just a game, isn't it, buddy? The fortune that you get to make a living playing the game, that it turns to that. And mind you, that's what I feel like has followed baseball for decades now. Is just it's always that about the money and everything else. And here we are, just get out there and play the game. If you feel that way about the game, just get out there and play it. Like you said, no fans.
Sheer entitlement.
I know.
The fact that they again, it just frustrates me, and I firmly believe more baseball players than not feel that way.
Yeah.
Because they grow up, they've never worked in the real world. They've been highly touted for all of their lives. Now, I'm sure there are people that come from backgrounds that are incredibly terrible, but for the most part, they're not. They don't work especially hard because they're pitchers, right? Pitcher works every fifth day.
Yeah.
And don't give me this crap about what they do on their off days. I've seen it. They work for about 45 minutes, and then they sit around during the game and they chart pitches.
And I was going to say,
once every 5 days.
Yep. And then
they're the laziest athletes on the planet. Pitchers are.
Well,
period.
And what's
God gifted them the ability to throw a ball really, really fast.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you broke down the sport a little bit, even in the docuseries The Last Dance, talking about Michael Jordan, a completely different physical body sense of what was going into the baseball training, because you're a little bit more stationary for so long, to the conditioning that came with playing basketball again, of running up and down the court for all those minutes. That's way different when we talk about it and break down the sport itself. We love baseball. You and I love baseball, partner. It's not like we're knocking it for that or anything. It's just...
No. Baseball is two things. It's quads and forearms.
Yeah.
Right? That's where you want all your power, right? You want to have strong forearms, strong wrists.
Yep.
And you want to have strong quads, because that's
core.
where your power comes from.
Yeah, and
legs.
the core. Those...
Core will come,
yeah.
But it's not. The core isn't what creates power. Your torque comes from your legs, right? Because that's how you drive the ball, is with your legs.
Yeah.
So that's why the calves don't mean much for baseball players, but they mean everything for basketball players.
Yep.
They're almost polar opposites, and it's all upper shoulders for basketball players, and you need core in order to have your quickness.
Yep.
But you don't want big thighs, because big thighs can prevent you from elevating.
That's right. Galen, real quick.
Different body type.
We got to go real quick, partner. Any idea Bloodmobile today?
Sure, yeah. We're at the Walgreens in Bellevue today, so please come by, see us. Call us at 622-3544 to make an appointment.
Excellent. My friend, be well. We'll talk at you tomorrow, and we'll go from there, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Be good.
You got it. WOCA back after this.
Grossly incompetent.
The president there at the White House after a weekend with advisors at Camp David. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're a pro who manages properties or replaces appliances regularly, it helps to have a go-to resource